Greetings, movie fans, and welcome to the latest episode of the Summer Movie Draft 2025. This week we'll be dealing with the movies that opened in the previous weekend, which was May 23rd. And those movies that were out were Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning and Lilo and Stitch. So joining me for this particular episodes are the two people that have in the draft acquired those particular movies, and that would be Natasha would be having Lilo and Stitch.
Hi, this is Natasha again.
It's okay.
Lilo and Stitch.
I'm Lilo and Stitch. That's me.
Yeah. And then for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, the other voice you heard in there was Ahmed.
That would be me. Mission
Yeah.
Impossible fan all the way.
All right. So that being said, we always start off with who saw their movie this weekend.
We did not go to the movies this weekend. We didn't even go to the other movies that we were going to go see.
Oh, you didn't yet? Actually? Oh, okay. So you didn't
Yeah.
get around. I believe you said you guys were going to see a drive-in double bill of Sinners and Final Destination, or
Yeah, in the
Final
weekend
Destination
before, I
and
wanted
Sinners,
to go to the triple bill of the week of Final Destination and Accountant 2 and Sinners, but we didn't do that either.
Oh,
So
okay. Oh, well. I will admit that I went to see a double bill of both movies and all that sort of thing. Quite entertaining and all that thing. Got to see them in the theater, and it's always nice to see movies where you're surrounded by people that are reacting to the movie, that are there to see the movie and all that sort of thing. Opening weekend, so it was a fun time at the movies. And it's definitely reflected in the box office. Now, throughout the weekend, I include the information of a daily box office for the people that are involved in this draft and all that sort of thing. And I'm pretty sure if you did math simple enough that we all know who won this weekend. So on
In
the
case people don't know,
yes,
did you want
exactly.
Just
So with her very first movie to be entered into this draft and her very first out of only three movies to begin with, Natasha's movie of Lilo and Stitch took the whole entire weekend with a box office for the domestic box office of $183 million. And that's just domestic. So that's just North America. We'll come up to the big totals afterwards and all that. In second place was Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning with $77 million.
so
Now,
close.
yeah, exactly, exactly. That's, I mean, a close second, but the other thing is, these numbers were taken on early Monday morning. So this, in the United States, there still is a Memorial Day Monday that still gets
Yeah, it was a long
included in that
weekend over
weekend.
there.
Was the long weekend over there. But for the purpose of the game, we just basically go the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then whatever those movies get on the holiday Monday will be reflected in the next week, which will be big
Bonus.
box office as well. So you guys get an extra little bump with that. I mean, all movies get the extra bump with
Yeah.
the Memorial Day weekend. So we basically have an estimated amount for those two movies. Now, other movies that were out prior to that, we have a pretty much a definite no, because we're like, no one else is going to see this movie
Yeah.
today or something like that. So in third place, we have Final Destination: Bloodlines, which brought in $24,500,000. Thunderbolts still bringing in money with $11 million. Hurry Up Tomorrow, which was the 10th movie out of the top movies
Yep.
and all that. And again, I'm only including the ones that are involved in our game right now. There are other movies that have been out there. I'll get to those in a moment. Number 10 was Hurry Up Tomorrow, which made $930,000. And in the 13th place was Shadow Force, still bringing in enough money to be considered in the top 20 with $33,388.
Hmm.
So the other movies that were in there, the fourth place was Sinners, so just behind Bloodlines and making a little more money than Thunderbolts. Then we were followed by two other movies that didn't get into our draft because they just flew under the radar, and that would be in the sixth place would be The Last Rodeo, and seventh would be Friendship. In
I
eighth
would have
place,
I would have bought Friendship just because I
you know
want to
what?
see that.
I would like to apologize
Yeah.
for missing that because
That's
I didn't
okay.
realize what Friendship was. I don't think I had the information when I first
Yeah.
compiled the original list. It was a late entry into this, so I never went back to seeing, oh, what else has been added to this? So yeah, the other movie was number eight would be a Minecraft movie, still making a little bit of money, but this will probably be the last of the money that a Minecraft movie is going to make for the year because if I'm not mistaken, this week it gets put onto one of the streamers, which I believe is Paramount Plus is
Ah,
going to be showing it.
it's
So
so quick these days.
it may still stay in the theaters, but the numbers have been dwindling since
Yeah,
over the past couple of weeks. But still, the movie has made like $900 million at this
yeah,
point. So
insane.
it's an insane amount of money and all that. Followed by the ninth place, which was The Accountant 2. And then, oddly enough, in the 11th and 12th place is Snow White and The Amateur. So, not much more to say about that. Congratulations with your opening movie win there, Miss Natasha. But
Thank you. No, I was just gonna say, like, out of all the movies that were, what do you call it, in the,
in
what
the
do you call it,
draft,
like
yeah.
the draft? Um, yeah, this one was the only one I had my eye on, honestly, because of when I was a kid. Like, I loved the original Lilo and Stitch.
Probably one of the best of the live action remakes.
Really?
Probably right up there with the I don't know if anyone is aware of this, but the Cinderella that was made quite a few years ago. That was
Nope.
actually a really well done one, where Helena Bonham Carter played the fairy godmother and all that sort of thing. Really great adaptation of the from the animated to live action. But then again, the story of Cinderella has been told time and time again by different people and all that sort of thing. But
Mhm.
this Lilo and Stitch being a Disney is like the Lion King and whatnot, the
Yeah.
and Aladdin and whatnot. But it they did cut some storylines and some characters from this live action version. Some of it is understandable why. I mean, they altered some stuff because you had to alter certain characters to combine some sort of storyline together to make it more plausible of why it
Mhm.
turns out the way it does. The the two alien characters, the actual scientist who's Jamba
Equally.
and Bleakley,
Yeah.
the characters do appear, but they appear in a cloaked version, so they look more human. So they
Uh,
wear a cloaking device. But
okay.
again, when you see these
So like
characters,
critters.
yes, exactly. Um, yeah, the bounty hunters that morph into whatever pictures they're looking at, sort of thing. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a good reference. That's a good reference. So, nice.
I'm glad you said
Um,
something.
but
That's my Lilo and Stitch input.
so when those two characters are there, they're in human form because their animated form would be just way too much animation to do.
Totally
I mean, too
understand.
much to. And in the original movie, they sort of like hid off in the corner, sort of thing. They were hiding in bushes and all that sort
Hmm.
of thing. They didn't
Yeah.
want themselves to be discovered. But this way, they get to interact. The
Yeah.
voice actors who portray
Hmm.
the cloaked versions of the characters. I'm doing finger quotes on a podcast that no one's actually going to see, but so I mean, that
Okay.
being said, it's interesting. And then the High Council woman of the galaxy,
Yeah.
like in its,
Mhm.
is beautifully rendered. She looks exactly like the hand-drawn version of her, but in a 3D realm and all that. So she looks
Oh,
fantastic. Stitch is gorgeously animated. I mean, again, you get to see an actual fur version of him because you know the character is furry, but you can't draw fur on a character without it looking
mm.
a
Yeah.
little too over the top. But seeing this fur version of a 3D rendered Stitch is great. You know what? That all being said, I really enjoyed it. I realized that there was going to be no way they'd be able to have these alien characters walking around as the alien characters.
You can't
Mm.
just shot for if they remade it shot for shot, then everyone would just complain that it's the same movie. So like
Exactly, exactly.
there's
Yeah.
always something to go off of
And you
like
know
that.
what? The little kids that are watching it now are going to enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The adults that are watching it now that are going to hate it because it's missing certain storylines or certain characters are missing. Sorry, it's not made for you. I
Yeah. Well,
mean,
judging by the numbers, there are very few of those
yeah,
compared to people that are enjoying it, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then again with Mission Impossible, we had a nice showing. Unfortunately, this movie, some information I just found out, the movie cost $400 million to make.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing is that goes into consideration that it was halted because it was shot during COVID. It got held up, and the actual company decided to make sure everyone still had a job, was paying everyone their
Yeah.
salaries. So crew and everyone working involved would still were getting paid even in time that they weren't working.
Hmm.
Of course, they had to when the Reckoning, when the part one that no longer
Yeah.
is part one came out, they had to rewrite and all that sort of thing. Unfortunately, when they were doing rewriting, there was a whole entire writer strike going on. So they had to, again, hold for that, but people were still getting paid
I
and all
mean,
that
this
sort of thing.
franchise always kind of deals with things like that as it goes. It's been
Exactly,
going on for so
exactly. Yeah.
long. It's been
Yeah.
through every situation that's been going on in
Yeah.
Hollywood, plus COVID, plus, stunts and injuries.
Yep.
And
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I think the point was just that they wrapped it up. And I'm genuinely super curious because I own most of them. I really
Hmm.
do enjoy the Mission Impossible movies a
Yeah.
lot. Um, I'm very much
And
looking forward
this
to
is
it.
again another great entry into the
Yeah.
series. There is a little bit of a hand-holding nature to it. They do a lot of plot explanation for
Yeah.
you. But again, it's trying to help out those that either haven't seen the other movies in a little while
It's
or
been some time since the
yeah,
last one
exactly.
came out
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one
yeah.
before that,
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah.
in that sense, you kind of have to expect it.
Yeah. Well, they even
It's
bring
not
up
only made for the people that just rewatched it before going to the theaters.
exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's even like points, a couple of plot points from the first movie, and you get
Oh, nice.
flashbacks to like that situation. Like they're talking about it, and then all of a sudden you flash back to a shot from the first movie and all that sort of thing. And it's
Now,
so
the
it
only
does that a
spoiler
little
I'm going
bit.
to ask you is, do they flash back to the second movie ever?
You do not see a long-haired Tom Cruise in this movie.
Damn.
You do not. There is no mention of the second movie at all in this movie. And it's
Man,
one of the first things. It's one of the
everyone
first
hates
things.
on Mission Impossible 2. I love Mission Impossible 2. I know it's like the most like kind of out there, weird,
Yeah,
wacky, like
yeah.
John Woo,
John Woo.
but
Oh, it
like
totally is a John Woo movie. Yeah, that
it
is for sure.
is, and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
soundtrack was so spectacular, and you got
yeah.
the cool long-haired Ethan going on. Like, man,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. But again, it did well enough to come in. Well, again, $77 million domestically
yeah.
is not a number to sneeze at. I mean, it's
Mm.
a fabulous showing and all that. All right, so for that, the numbers put us in this particular order. So out of the top 200, which is what we are referring to for this whole entire thing, our movies for the draft run into these situations. So, and this would be box office gross since the beginning of the year. These numbers are our movies obviously had started in May, but that puts in number fourth place so far is Thunderbolts, which comes in at $355.5 million. Lilo and Stitch is now in fifth place for the year. It is now in fifth place with the adding the international. It made 341,700,000. So for its opening weekend, it made almost as much as Thunderbolts has in the month that it's been out.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
can see that. As
you
much
let
as much as they tried to push Thunderbolts and changing the name afterwards as
Yeah,
well,
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Avengers,
The new
they really
Avengers.
tried
Yeah.
to push it hard.
All right. So that means in eighth place, again, in our list of just what we're running with in this game, is Mission Impossible, which has a grand total of $204 million. So it's well on its way to being, and again, if we remember, 77 was what it made domestically. So the rest of that is world.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. In ninth place is Final Destination, which has $183.1 million. Now we suddenly jump down the list to number 84, and that is Clown in a Cornfield, which so far has a grand total of $6.8 million.
Let's go.
Followed up kind of closely at the 100th place with Hurry Up Tomorrow with 5.5.
Oh,
And then we get into 113th place with Shadow Force with $4.2 million. In 121st place, Fight or Flight with $4 million. And coming back up into the top 200 because apparently this past weekend it got an international release, which allowed it to bump up a little more at 181st place from previous week. It was off of the 200. The Surfer with a grand total of $1.9 million.
there we
So
go.
Yeah, so I mean, international is very important, obviously, to this game. That's another reason why I decided to include it.
Hmm.
We do have a couple of surprises coming up in the next week and all that sort of thing. But the big thing is who's in what position? Who has the most money so far in their box office total? So right now, Mitch is in fifth place because Dan has yet to have a movie release yet. So
Oh,
Dan's
what?
not quite on the list yet. So Mitch is in fifth place with $5.5 million dollars. In fourth place is Candace with $191.1 million dollars. Then we got Ahmed, like I said, with his one total, which is $204 million dollars. And then we got Natasha with $441.7 million dollars, which is just slightly behind my final place of $368.5 million dollars. Now, obviously, it can totally be expected that both Ahmed and Natasha's numbers are going to increase, and I'll obviously follow
Yeah,
in
neither of us have
their
that
direction.
many choices in
Yeah,
Well, I went big
exactly.
our
on
studios.
like
Yeah,
two movies,
yeah.
and then I was
Oh, you
gonna
went, yeah,
yeah. Well, I was
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
take the Surfer, and then you took it from me, and I didn't have enough points. Everyone thought I had so many, and I'm like, well, I used them. Like,
No, I mean, again, those that aren't aware of it, Natasha ended up getting three movies in this
mhm.
whole entire list of, I believe it was 46 films. She ended up with three. Two of which are probably going to be the biggest movies of the year. It was pointed out last week that had mentioned that more than likely Lilo and Stitch is going to be staying in the theaters probably until
Oh
September.
yeah.
Like it'll
Because
be
Disney doesn't pull their movies for streaming as quick as anyone else
no,
does.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Hence the reason why there's still no why Captain America is
yeah,
just about to come to, and that was released in February. So
yeah.
that's yeah, yeah.
They're the only
Um,
ones going old school. Everyone else goes streaming within like a month.
exactly, exactly. Which is weird that I mean, the nice thing is it's good to see that Sinners doesn't have any sort of setup
Sinners
yet for
is
being
June, early June,
oh early June, so like
early
next week
June.
sort of thing. Oh
I
no.
think the 9th or something around there. I can't remember
Okay.
what day exactly, but yeah,
All right, so the other movies that we're just keeping an eye on, which
yeah.
are like Sinners, which is an impressive movie and all that. It's currently in sixth place overall for the year with
Hmm.
$339 million dollars. In third place is Captain America: Brave New World, which has pulled in $415.1 million dollars.
That's surprising that they're so close, considering the reviews for Sinners were so like over the top good. And that also, well, most people had no idea what it was about when they went to see it
Yeah.
versus Captain America, whereas everyone went to see it knowing what it was about, and apparently most people just really, really disliked it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think the one thing that is, I mean, for adults, it's not the fact that Sinners is an rated R movie. It's
Yeah,
not
that's
getting,
crazy.
it can't be viewed by as many people as
No,
it
it'll
can
never
be.
be that high on the list.
But the
Yeah.
fact that Sinners, there is no doubt that I've seen several people saying I've seen this movie at least twice, three
Yeah.
times already, sort of thing. So that's kind of cool.
I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah. And like I mentioned earlier, Minecraft is $940.5 million dollars. But the other movie that is the number one movie this year is called Niza 2, which is an animated feature from Japan. And it was released the end of January, and it is still currently in theaters, and it has
That's
made
wild.
$1.898 billion dollars.
Okay.
That is
So
wild.
that is just also
That's running on almost 6 months.
that is just international alone because there
Yeah.
is no domestic release for this movie yet. We probably won't be able to see it until it gets into streaming, probably there
Yeah.
and there. But the fact that the movie is just $100 million away from being a $2 billion movie is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Nothing is going to be able to reach that. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a movie in
No.
that short of amount of
Yeah.
time reach that amount. I mean, back in the day, your Avenger movies would get that after about a month, maybe get the
Yeah.
$1 billion point and all that sort of thing. But yeah, it's ridiculous to see. And the fact that it's an almost 2 hour animated feature is
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, so that's the show. Coming up next week, the weekend of May 30th. So it's we get 5 whole weekends technically in May and all that sort of thing, which we have the horror film Bring Her Back and the guess legacy movie of Karate Kid Legends.
Yeah.
That'll be a movie. Bring Her Back is a movie that I own in the draft, and
Hmm.
it's Dan that has the Karate Kid, and Dan has a nice little bonus because apparently this movie's already been released internationally, so he has a little bank of money that has
Ah,
already been built up. So again, we still deal with the domestic first. So once that's out, and then we just
yeah.
let the rest of the world come into his total. But we'll all discover that next week. Thank you guys for
Before we
Oh,
go,
I
yes.
had
Uh-oh.
questions too. So
Okay,
I
go
also
ahead.
have a fun fact about what we were talking about
Oh
earlier, because I
yes,
don't know
yes.
if the same person has ever done this twice, but Jason Scott Lee has featured in 2 live-action Disney movies.
The Jungle Book.
That three. Three.
What is the other live action then?
Mulan.
Oh my God, he was in Mulan. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's right.
So
That's
he's now got,
right.
I guess, the Jungle Book, Mulan, and Lilo and Stitch under his belt.
Well, technically, the I think his version of the Jungle Book wasn't
Wasn't,
a
I don't think it
Disney,
was
wasn't
Disney.
a
No,
Disney. No, no,
no.
no. But it was the
It's still pretty crazy,
yeah,
but
yeah. No, that
yeah,
is kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy.
yeah.
I completely forgot about
But I don't think anyone
Mulan. Yeah,
else has even 2 live-action Disneys under their belt. I'm not sure. Not that I'm an
probably not.
expert,
No,
because
not
I'm not
that.
on Disney, but yeah.
Yeah, when you get to the live action stuff, other than doing sequels,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think you got a point there. I think you got a point there. All right.
interesting.
Yeah.
What did you have to ask Miss Natasha before we go?
Okay, well, I had one thing to say and I had one thing to ask you.
Okay,
So,
yes.
well, I guess two things to ask you. First is, were you a big Lilo and Stitch fan
I
before the
yes,
live action?
oh yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I mean, I the movie was originally came out when I believe I was in college with a bunch of animation guys and all that sort of thing. So it
Yeah, it
was
was
a fantastic movie to see at that time and
beautiful.
been in love with it ever since. I mean, people I've been involved with in my life have been huge fans of it and all that sort of thing. So yeah, no, definitely Stitch, Lilo and Stitch is a very well-loved movie in my
Hmm.
world. Yeah.
Okay. No, same here. That's like
Yeah.
anyway, I guess when
You
I was
also would have hit it at a much younger age than I was. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you do I name the age that I was? 'Cause in 2002?
That's totally up to you.
Well, I mean, okay, well, I mean, I said it
Yeah,
now.
you were definitely not in your 20s like I was. So yeah.
Yeah,
You're
I was 4. Yeah, a little bit more impressionable then.
Yeah, oh for sure.
Yeah, no,
Just slightly.
yeah. I mean,
But
around
again,
your age.
I also give you the point that I had just come out of Sheridan
Mhm.
during an attempt to get into animation. So seeing
Oh,
a
geez.
feature like this, which was a hand-drawn feature,
Hmm.
was a fantastic thing to see. So
Hmm.
just the studying alone of this movie was a fantastic. It had a huge impact. So it was another ring. I mean, another reason why I loved it so much is because it was very fresh at a time when I mean, I've always been a fan of animated features and all
Hmm.
that sort of thing, but knowing that I had a bunch of people around me were also into animation and all that sort of thing, it was
Oh.
just a fun thing to experience as a group of
Hmm.
animators. So yeah.
For sure. No, no, I love that movie when it came out. Actually, I didn't even realize how much of an impact it had on me until literally like last year when I was trying to show Ahmed the movie for the first time. We didn't finish it, but we will. We will short soon, I hope. Anyway, um, but yeah, no, it was a very special movie to me. That's
Hmm.
why anyway, when we were
No, I get
picking
yeah, well, when we were picking it, you made it aware that you
oh
wanted
yeah.
that movie. Yeah.
Well, that kind of leads me into what I was gonna say. Now that I'm, less anxious, it's been 40 minutes since we've been talking. Um, yeah, my technique for choosing movies was like I had 3 in mind that I'm gonna get these no matter what.
Right.
Um, and they were all things that mattered to like they're very special to me. Not that I'm saying that they're not special to anybody else, but that was
No,
like
yeah.
yeah, like it wasn't really about like I mean I didn't know what other techniques to use like only when I was in the draft with you guys and hearing all like the thought behind it, all the movie choices and like, oh, like the restricted movies, like parents can't bring their kids to come watch it, so factor that in. And then oh, like this was released another time, and I'm like, oh my God, or like oh, two movies are being released on the same weekend, so good luck. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't consider any of that stuff. I'm just like, I love Lilo and Stitch, so,
Yeah.
sorry,
Oh,
Lilo and Stitch
yeah.
so much. As well as, I mean, I didn't even know I was a massive Superman fan until you showed me, like literally like last August. Um,
Man of Steel.
yeah. Oh my
Okay,
God.
Man of
Another
Steel.
Alien movie.
Yep. Another. Yep.
Yeah. I realized like in the last 2 years that like aliens are such a big part of like my, I don't know, growing up, I guess, is like a super
Ahmed.
prominent thing. I didn't realize in all of my movies and things that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, the closest I came to Lilo and Stitch anything was I went on the Stitch's Great Escape ride at Disney World. That's all I knew about it
So the
until
one that like got
2021.
closed down, sort of thing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
previously another alien
Yep.
escape
Yep.
that they
Yep. Yep.
converted to
That they
Stitch,
exactly. Yeah.
and
Which.
now it's
Yeah.
gone completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. I never got to ride it.
Yeah, it wasn't really much of a ride. It
Not a
was
lot of,
like an
yeah, you're
experience.
sitting in a
Yeah.
seat while everything happens around you,
Yeah, it
sort of
gets
thing.
like
Yeah.
dark and then you hear him like all around you and he like
Yeah.
burps, like you
Yeah.
smell like the food that he burps. Yeah.
Was it good?
And I don't know, I think it was like cheeseburger or something. I don't even remember, but
Oh.
it was one of those 4D things that they were doing because I
Mm.
did the Shrek 4D too. Yeah. And I never seen Shrek either.
Sounds rough. Okay.
All right. So on
Yeah.
that note, I think we're going to wrap up this particular episode.
Yep.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Natasha. Thank you, Ahmed. Again, I'll keep you guys posted on what's
Mhm.
going on as day to
Yep.
day. We're also posting up daily things, just check out our social medias. You want to see what the box office was for the Friday,
Mhm.
the Saturday, and Sunday. You can just go to any of our Planet Geek Productions social media stuff. You can look it up in the show notes for this. Next week, like I said, it's going to be me and Dan going up head to head with Bring Her Back and Karate Kid Legends. And I got nothing else to say, so see you at the box office.
You've just been listening to the Summer Movie Draft 2025, a Planet Geek production. Be sure to download, subscribe, share, comment, and review. It most definitely helps us out. If you would like to buy us a coffee, be sure to go to ko-fi.com/planetgeekpod. Any and all donations will go to future improvements of Planet Geek Productions. You can follow Planet Geek Productions on our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Tumblr, or Letterboxd. Search for Planet Geek Productions. On X, former Twitter, Instagram, or Blue Sky, search for Planet Geek Pod. Or reach out to us via email at planetgeekpod@gmail.com. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and see you at the box office.
At the end of the game, we'll give total runnels. I'll just
Yeah.
narrow this down just to make it a little easier. Plus, I also have a little bit of numeric dyslexia, so I don't want to mess up the numbers as little as possible.
Yeah, you could
All
have
right.
fooled me.
Oh, the amount of pausing that I'm doing in my head before I actually read the numbers out is ridiculous.
I think that's my problem. I'm not pausing. I'm just like I go to speak and I'm like, I didn't have
Yeah.
anything to say.
I,
Awesome.
I tend my pauses usually tend to be ums and ahs when I speak regularly, and that's
Mm.
the reason why I have to edit a lot of eh. Yeah, so I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, thank you
Sounds
so
good,
much.
buddy.
And
Try
yeah,
and go
thank
see
you
a
for
movie. Try and go see a
yeah.
movie.
I know, I want to. Oh,
Okay.
but now it's also all you can eat wings.
Oh, no, that's
St. Louis, all you can eat wings from now till the beginning of July.
Oh,
Troy, you should
really?
come with us.
We go every week.
Oh, literally, I couldn't go to sleep last night.
When are you going next?
Saturday.
Either Saturday or Sunday this week. We haven't figured that out yet, but
Okay, because I'm about to do a new show called Planet Geek Eats, where I go to
that's
different
perfect.
where I go to
God.
different like places and all that, diners and all that, have like a
Yeah.
meal with somebody, and we just talk geek stuff and all that
Well,
over a
the
meal.
St. Louis near us follows me on Instagram already, so maybe
Stuff. Every time we go in there, like a different like a waitress that didn't serve us is like, "Hey guys, welcome back. How was your wings last time?" Like,
granted we only
Nice,
bring
nice.
none, so
okay, yeah, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess we also look different too.
All right, you know what? If if you guys don't mind having a
Oh my God.
geek-like chat and all that
Oh
sort of
my
thing while we're
God.
eating,
Yes.
yeah, okay, I can
Please,
totally
please,
do
please,
that. I can
please.
totally do that. Yeah. Guys, come up with a time and all that sort of thing, and I'll see if like Saturday, Sunday sure works for me. So yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Let's do it.
Okay.
There you go. And then you get to be yourself because you don't have to worry about performing because you won't be able to see the camera filming you.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm so horrible with this. I'm like, why does he keep bringing me back? Like, thank you, but
Cut
wow.
off in a sec.
I know, I know.
Well,
I've got my, yeah.
it's
Mhm.
because of your freshness to this sort of thing. That's I mean, I love the fact that we're sort of experiencing your new experiences at the same time.
Oh,
So that's the reason. I mean,
thank
I know
you.
why I talk to Ahmed and
So
all that sort of
dumb.
thing
Like,
all this
oh.
time, but no, don't worry about it. You're doing perfectly fine. I wouldn't put anything up to embarrass you, and we're about to run out of time. So
I know, I know.
good night, kid.